Hello, everyone, and welcome to Eclectic 6, a Blades in the Dark actual play from Twisted Narrative. My name is Kristian, and I'll be your host for this evening. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. This is the sixth in our Blades in the Dark actual plays, and I'd recommend you go back and watch from the first one. However, that isn't essential. So, tonight we are joined by everybody. And last time, this group of ne'er-do-wells stopped a cult, emptied a theatre, and got themselves a new base, the Apollo Theatre. Auntie Helen has given 4 coin for that and has moved straight into the cellar, a nice, quiet place for her to, well, do whatever it is she does. A week has passed since the last time. The gang's manservant, Sark, has started to make the place more habitable for everybody. Some of the dressing rooms have been cleared out to be used as a stable base. But we are going too far ahead. I would like to take this time to introduce the players. And could you please introduce your characters, please? And we'll start with Sarah.
Hi everyone, so I'm Sarah and I'm Yig in Discord, and this evening I will be reprising my role as Grimlyn, which I took quite seriously last time, as definitely it was quite grim.
Yes, it was. Thank you. The flashbacks. Vixen, Kyle.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. My name's Kyle, and tonight I'm going to be playing Vixen. Vixen is a female, standing about 5'8", got blue eyes and dirty blonde hair, and always has a long but tatty but well looked after waistcoat.
Thank you very much, Kyle. Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I will be once again playing Jellybean. Jellybean is a small and sweet-looking young girl, very young girl, who always wears luxury kind of pretty dresses, lots of lace, lots of velvet, has blonde ringlets, but has somehow found herself in this crime gang in her spare time.
Thank you very much, Rachel. And finally, Andy.
Hey there, Andy here from Twisted Narrative. Very excited. I don't often get to play, and I'm getting to play tonight. So I'm playing Barkin, Larkin, an interesting individual that has been brought up on the streets of Duskval. Sort of dabbles in the occult. More a case of learning as he goes by sampling spirits rather than through any kind of really book smarts. That is me.
Wonderful. So, as we moved on we finished last time without doing downtime activities. It's probably a really good chance now, before you start tonight's caper, with your downtime activities. So, as I said, a week has passed, but you still get 2 downtime activities. And for a downtime activity, you can do one of a few different things. So, you can acquire an asset, fill in a piece of a long-term project clock, recover, which means you fill in a piece of your healing clock. You can reduce heat. You can train, which means you can fill in a thing on your XP track, or you can indulge a vice, which will allow you to reduce your stress. So we'll start the other way round this time. So we've just been to Barkin Larkin. So Barkin, what would you like your first downtime action to be?
I think I want to try and reduce some more stress. I don't know if you're taking a record of it. I've got lots of numbers on here. I think I'm still on 6.
No, I rely on you to keep a record of it, but 6 sounds about right. So
I'm fairly confident that's the right number.
I trust you.
Yeah.
So you need to indulge your vice.
Mhm.
So what is your vice? Remind everybody of what Barkin Larkin's vice is.
I just open myself out to the spirits and let a random spirit possess me, and I just like the roller coaster ride of excitement of not knowing what is going to happen.
Okay. Well, when you indulge your vice, you take your weakest quality, insight, prowess, or resolve. So that means you look down that first column.
My weakest is prowess, and I have 0 in it.
Cool. So yeah, you make an attribute roll, which means you roll 2d6 and you take the lowest.
Okay, so I can roll both because it's just taking the lowest. 6 and a 3.
Wonderful. So you reduce your stress by 3.
That is nice.
So you also have a second downtime action.
Yeah, and because I've not overindulged, nothing else sort of
Nope,
happens.
nothing bad happens.
Right. Second downtime. I think I'm going to probably start taking what I'm doing a little bit more seriously now. So I kind of want to establish a sort of occult workshop of sorts, not like Grimlyn's sort of tinkerer's workshop, but yeah, to sort of play around with spirits and the like, and seeing what I can do.
Okay. So I'm going to start that as a long-term project.
Perfect.
So that's a 6-segment clock.
Yep.
So yeah, you've started that clock.
You remember the ghost busting suit that I built and that kind of thing.
Indeed,
So
yes.
it's long term. It's to be able to allow me to do more of that kind of stuff.
Yes, very much so. Brilliant. That's your 2 downtime actions. So next we go to Jellybean. So Jellybean, remember, you can do exactly the same stuff, really. You can acquire an asset. You can fill in a piece of a long-term project clock. You can recover, so reducing your damage if you have any. Reduce your heat, train, or indulge your vice.
I don't think I've got any project clocks on the go, have I?
You don't know.
Oh, no, I do. I was learning to ride the horse.
Oh, yes, you have a relationship with the horsey lady.
Mysterious
That I've
horse
got
lady.
written down. So you can continue that if you wish.
So, yes. Go and learn more. Well, spend time being horsey with the one horse of Duskfall.
Yeah.
And the
Duskfall's
mysterious
lone
horse
horse.
lady. Who seems suitably upper class to spend time with.
Yes, very much so. It's a very well respected. This horse walking around this moderate sized garden. No one has a big garden in Duskfall unless you're very rich. Cool. So that's your first thing. What's your second thing?
Well, she was cut off, wasn't she, from her vice?
She was, yes. Yeah. So you can either try and find somewhere else, which might not be as good, or you can go and apologize.
Yeah.
But you might have to find a new one. And if you want to find a new one, you'll have to give me a roll. Or tell me how you'll want to try and find a new one.
So, yeah, for the benefit of everyone else, Jellybean's advice is going and practicing shanking by taking out her frustrations on some meat. But she overdid it last time, and the butcher has said the meat was too badly damaged. So, I don't know, maybe find some less good quality meat, I suppose. It doesn't have to be good. Find a butcher who won't care about stab wounds in the meat.
Well, how are you going to do that? What are you going to do to persuade a butcher to go and stab meat?
tell him I'll stab them otherwise.
Give me a
I find it
skill
works
roll.
well as a cute little kid going like.
Yep, give me a skill roll. Pick one of your skills. You're gonna have to use one of your skills.
Okay. I mean, in all seriousness, I have a friend who's gang leader, and we spoke to in one of the previous things. So, like, they might know a local neighbourhood butcher that caters more to their end of town.
So how are you going to persuade someone to either let you do that or what skill are you going to use?
So I guess it would have to be sway.
And are you going to try and sway the butcher?
Yeah.
So your local gang leader friend does know of a place. He says the butcher might let you do it. But yeah, give me a sway roll.
So
yeah. Oh well, then give me a sway roll, please.
Yeah.
Give me a sway roll. So remember, 1, 2, 3 is a failure. 4, 5 is a success with a complication. 6 is a success.
Super success.
Success. Wonderful. Yep.
Is it the money? Is it the fear? We're not quite sure, but something.
Yeah. The butcher's definitely like looking at the coin you've got and looking at you and looking at the probably the knife you've got and thinking, I don't get paid enough for this. And just tells you that you know the back tells you how to the secret way to open the back door when you want to come in and use it. So yeah, you've done that, so you can now reduce your stress. So what's your current stress?
Well, I've got 2 marks on my sheet, whether that's accurate or not.
Okay. Well, let's see if you overindulge again then.
Oh, don't cut me off another one.
You might not be cut off.
I can't remember how you do it.
So pick your lowest stat. So that's the look down the vertical column and see what you have, either have or got the fewest amount of dots in.
0
that first column. 0. So roll 2d6, please, and we take the lowest, which is probably for the best here.
Thank you, Dice. One time I didn't want that. Look, it's been a while.
So, you stab and stab and stab and stab and stab and stab, stab. And unfortunately, the butcher has potentially blabbed to someone about this strange young girl that's come into his butcher shop. He still lets you do it, but yes, this unfortunately has generated 2 heat for the gang, taking the gang's heat up to 5. Oh dear. So that was your 2 actions. We go to Vixen next. What would you like to do? Acquire an asset, long-term project, recover, reduce heat, train, or indulge vice?
It rather sounds like I may need to reduce some heat.
Brilliant. Yes. So we'll deal with reducing heat. So reducing heat. You need to say what your character does to reduce the heat level of the crew and make an action roll. And so this is from the rules. Maybe you consult with your friend who's a blue coat and arranges for a few incriminating watch reports to disappear. Or maybe you command the fear of the local citizens so they're afraid to snitch.
If you're all right with it, perhaps this butcher that's blabbing, I perhaps trail him as he's off to make his conversation and just happen to flash a gun or something as he's starting to speak.
Brilliant. So give me, give me, is it a hunt roll you want to give me?
Yep, that sounds fine to me.
Cool, roll that then.
Hunt.
A 5 and a 2. So, unlike normal, to reduce the heat is reduced according to a result. So, 1 to 3, you reduce 1 heat. 4 to 5, you reduce 2 heat. 6, you reduce 3 heat. If you get a critical, you reduce 5 heat. Now that was a 5, so number 5 was your highest, so we reduce 2 heat. So that goes back down to 3 again, which is very good. You want to keep your heat nice and low. What would you like your second downtime action to be, Vixen?
I think I'm going to indulge in a bit of luxury.
Yes, and what do you want to do this time? Because yes, previously you've gone to spa days and things like that. What would you like to do?
Yes, I think I'm going to try and find a park or an open sort of more nature-based area after the episodes of last time. I don't quite feel like having any food or going to shows.
No. And again, if you haven't seen the last one, go watch it. Not after you've eaten. So again, pick your lowest attribute and look down that first column to pick your lowest one.
Or one. Well,
Oh, brilliant. So you reduce 5 heat. So, sorry, 5 stress. So what was your stress before?
it was 6.
Brilliant. So you're now on 1 stress. That's really, really good. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Vixen. So, and last and by no means least, Grimlyn, what would you like to do?
So I think I have 5 stress, so I would like to try and reduce that, please.
Lovely. So again, pick your lowest one. If you've got no dots in it, just roll 2d6 and take the lowest.
I've got one dot is my lowest. So
Brilliant.
I'll just roll.
Yep,
D6.
roll 1. Oh, 6. 6. So yes, but tell me
But
what
that
it
means
is.
I overindulged, does it?
Well, does it reduce it to
So-
0 or -1?
So if it was 5, it would go to -1.
Ah, yes.
wouldn't
So
it?
you've overindulged. So where would you have gone for this one? What would you have done?
So Grimlyn is very much a creature of habit. She does like her afternoon tea, but probably because of last time. So again, if you haven't seen it, watch it. She wouldn't go back to the same place again this time. So she probably would have tried to find somewhere else, possibly like more where the network of contacts that she's been building kind of hang out, that kind of thing, and go there. So yes, that's my plan.
Brilliant. Okay, well, yes, you have unfortunately overindulged. So yeah, you go to this new place, and yeah, unfortunately, something is just rubbed you up the wrong way, and unfortunately, you might have mentioned to somebody what happened last time. Not in too many terms, but yes, words might have been said that have caused people to give you the odd glance, and unfortunately has caused a little bit more heat to get on the party again. So you've got no stress, but unfortunately the heat's gone up to 5 again. So you do have a second action. You can try and reduce that should you wish to, or you can do something else.
Yeah, so I think Grimlyn would probably want to try and reduce these the heat because she's unkeen on the fact that people have come into her favourite place and have kind of muddied that. So I think what she would do would be to try to get the people that she's working with to kind of plant stuff, then be able to kind of like call in the blue coats to kind of cause a bit of heat back on them.
Yep.
So sort of misdirection so that they're so focused on their stuff that they're not kind of thinking about what we're doing right now.
Wonderful. So what skill are you going to use for this?
I would probably use finesse, I think, because it's about misdirecting people.
Sounds good to me. Roll finesse, please. 5. 2 stress goes off. Brilliant. Back down to 3 again.
5.
Wonderful. Well. The week passes. You're all go off and do your own thing for a little bit. You can check in the theatre if that's what you wish to do. You can stab some meat. However, you're all gathered together in the theatre one day when Sark, the giant of a man with his flat peak cap and missing fingers comes up and says, we've just had some post. That's not expected, given that we ain't got a letterbox on this place at the moment. And no one really should know that we're here. A little concerned. Looks a bit posh as well. He hands out this envelope. The envelope is a deep crimson, and there is a seal in red wax on the back of the envelope.
Don't suppose you recognise the seal, Jellybean? You're normally better with the to-do.
Take a look if it's a seal of an actual family or something.
No, it's not a seal you recognise. The seal on the back of the envelope is a very ornate number 6, surrounded by leaves.
There's not a family I know. I don't recognise it. Let's see what it says, I suppose. Is it addressed?
It's just addressed to the Apollo Theatre gang, because you haven't named yourselves yet, I don't believe. So, not fully, not with anything that's stuck.
All right. Well, maybe it's our friends we made, or not. We'll find out.
So, Sark opens it, and his finger, well, one of his remaining fingers, trails along the letter, the lines as he reads. To the Apollo Theatre gang.
Do you need me to read it? Is it hard?
No, I got this. The deed is in the Hall of Records. Thought you should know.
I assume the deed to the theatre. We already have the deed to Auntie Helen's, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we had the deed, then this place would legit be ours. Well, anyone that comes knocking would know that this is ours. I mean, it's not a bad place to go and try and, knock off. It's not well protected. Been in there once myself at night when I was a younger man. It's possible you could do it. I don't know. What do you think?
Sounds a good idea. We don't want anyone intruding on our new place.
What if Grimlyn burns the entire records building down, then there's no records then? Just saying.
Well, that might work. I mean, it's a stone outside of the building, so you'd have to get in there to set the fire. You want to make sure no one could put it out, so you'd want to probably put it in the room with all the records in. But that would work.
Are there likely to be any records that may be of interest to us or useful for blackmail later?
Oh, blimey, probably loads, yeah. There's probably something there about Jellybean's parent. Yeah, loads of records in there.
Probably.
Particularly I believe it's the boys and girls have been causing a bit of stir.
Yeah, they have, yeah. Yeah, got them rolled up proper. They, they may try and make a move on this place if they know we're here, and if we ain't got a good claim to it, then they might be able to push us out.
I'm sorry. I know I'm the slowest of the lot of you, but we want to get hold of something to prove we're here when we don't want to tell people we're here.
Well,
Yes, but no one else will know that we have the thing unless they come here already.
Right.
It's not that we go tell everyone we're here. It's that we have the official proof we can be here in case anyone comes here.
Right.
yeah.
Okay. This is why you're clever.
It's a backup plan.
Right.
I mean, thankfully, no one knows we're here, he says, holding up the envelope.
Well, it seems suspiciously friendly, so for now.
Well, yeah, it's not signed, though, is it?
No.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, isn't the seal the sign?
In a way.
Oh, I just thought they put these things on the back, Sark says, looking at it, a bit bemused.
So, I mean, yeah, we go in, we take it, you find other records, we take them as well. Might be worth looking in at this seal, see if it's known by anybody else. See who's being friendly to us.
Yeah, that's an idea.
Is it?
Well, we're in the
I've had an
Hall of
idea.
Records.
Oh,
Yeah, that's an idea and a half, that is.
I've had an idea. And a half idea as well.
Well, because then we know who's sending us letters.
Yeah.
Well, sounds like we've got the start of a plan there. So, well,
I better
I
go
think
and have a
I'll
lie down.
yeah, don't lie down over there though. That paint's wet. Oh, you're too late. So, Sark kind of goes off to continue getting the theatre ready, leaving you to prepare and think about what you want to know about the Hall of Records and prep for a job on the Hall of Records.
Well, Sark sounds like he knows a bit about it. He's a good initial source.
But it was a long time ago that he went in, though. He said when he was a lad.
True.
So
I'd say we could look up the records, but I suppose they would be in the Hall of Records.
I wonder if Auntie Helen might know anything about this sign. She was familiar with a lot of people.
possibly.
Do we have any maps?
You do. You still have the maps. They've been moved over from Auntie Helen's. So, yeah, you've got the maps of the city. So, of all places in the city for a Hall of Records to be, this is one of the older buildings of the city, and it's actually in Silkshore, which is a strange place to put a Hall of Records, because Silkshore, you may remember, is where essentially lots and lots of canals, there's gondoliers there, and a lot of brothels. This is the place where you managed to collapse a brothel floor. Well, some of you did anyway. This will be all new to Vixen. But a brothel floor collapsed in Silkshore thanks to yourselves. It's semi-wealthy, not a nasty area of the city, quite secure. Quite a lot of gangs working there, though. So take that into account when planning. Do you want to ask Auntie Helen about the Hall of Records?
Well, especially if it's in that area, she might know a bit more. Gang involvement as she had.
Okay. So she's downstairs. You can either all go visit her or you can ask her to come up. What would you prefer?
I think we should go and visit her. I'm quite keen to see what she's doing down there.
Wonderful. Down in sort of the basements of this theatre, she's got a very nice sitting room set up. That sitting room has a large door at the back, which is currently closed and locked. It's quite clear that she has had her sitting room from her previous residence moved to her current residence. Lots of tables, the pictures have all been moved. It is set up as her parlor. But yes, there is another door at the back of this one that is just closed. And currently there is a big wooden bar across it. And she goes, "Oh, hello, Poppets. I'm so glad to see you. What brings you here, dearies?"
We
Yeah.
had an interesting letter, Auntie, and so we're looking at the Hall of Records.
Oh, the Hall of Records. Oh, it's been a long time since I've been there, darlings. My Poppets. What do you want with that building?
A record.
Oh, well, you'll find many in there. Most of them are up on the 3rd floor. They're all in the records room. But, well, you won't find anything in the records room alone because it's massive. Absolutely massive. Takes up the whole 3rd floor. Actually, 2 floors, technically. You have to find the central directory first if you want to go that way. Or, well, find yourself a handsome young clerk and try and seduce him. That's what I did.
Oh,
She grins.
I've done that in enough games already.
my turn then.
Oh, I think you'd be able to seduce someone, Barkin, Larkin. I think you'd easily do that. You're such a charming young gentleman. But I would suggest maybe putting on some aftershave first.
I don't shave.
Okay, put on some instead of shave then.
Instead of shave.
It's just something to, hide your natural odours. Well, I don't mean to be too personal, Poppet, but you do smell a bit like a wet dog at the moment.
Yeah, that's the point.
Oh, well, I'm sure some people will really go in for that. So, yes, you just do your best, Poppets. So, there is one thing I'd warn you about, though, with the Hall of Records. It's absolutely a throng of people throughout the day. But in the evenings, at night, dead to the world. Maybe a few guards walking around. They've got some guards they have from the Ministry of Preservation. The other thing is, well, it's more rumours. Never really had it checked out. They say it's haunted.
Oh,
Actually haunted. Well, Barkin, you may be in for a treat then.
yeah.
Maybe worth bringing along our ghost charm then.
Oh. Yes, you do still have the ghost charm.
We also received a letter with a interesting seal. Looks like a 6 around a bit. Does it sound familiar to you?
It was red. Real red.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Yeah, I knows them. Knows of them.
Oh, really?
Only the name. They're one of those shadow organisations. Fingers in lots of pies. You only hear whispers on the wind about them. They're called the Eclectic 6. No one really knows too much about them, only that they occasionally get these letters through and, well, they try and sway things one way or another. It looks like they've taken an interest in you, dearies.
And it's a gang?
No one knows. Well, no one I know knows. This is the first one of these I've ever seen. But maybe you'll find out more in the Hall of Records.
They,
Well, I'm sure we will.
they sound real dangerous with like all the power they must be channeling.
Mm.
I mean, that's what holds back the ghosts, isn't it? This electricity.
High
No,
voltage.
not electric. No, eclectic. Oh, Barkin. She looks at your picture and then looks a few photos down. Oh, Barkin.
Right. Does that mean something different then?
Yeah. I don't think I've got time to explain it to you now, dearie.
Right.
But well, just know that Jellybean understands Poppet.
Right.
You do understand, don't you, Jellybean?
I think so, Auntie.
And Grimlyn, you know as well, don't you? You know what eclectic means. You're a lady of learning.
Yes, we can talk about it while we're planning.
Wonderful. Well, I've got something I've got to attend to, dearies. So it's been lovely to see you, but yes, knock next time.
Oh, yeah.
She shoos you out of her parlor. You hear her door close, and then you hear a bar go across it. And so you go into planning. So in Blades in the Dark, as always, we like to streamline things as much as possible, which means we now head closer and closer towards the engagement role. So what this means is you have to choose basically a method of ingress. Then we do we need the detail of it. Then we do the engagement role and we get item loadouts. And then you go straight into the action. So the different types of plan are assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, and transport. If you do assault, that is doing violence to a target, which means I need to know the point of attack. If it's deception, you lure, trick, or manipulate your way into the place. The detail needs the method of deception. If you use stealth, you need to trespass unseen. I need to know the point of infiltration. Occult, engage a supernatural power. I need the arcane method of whatever you're doing. Social, negotiate, bargain, or persuade. I need the social connection. Or transport, carry all cargo people through danger. I need the route and the means. So, as I said, this building is in Silkshore. It is a 6-story building. It is on the canals.
Right. I think it's over to you with this one. I'm obviously coming along, especially if we go in at night, because there might well be spirits. But I'm not best placed to make a decision on this.
I don't think it's somewhere I have any particular connections or ideas on.
Question, are we interested in maintaining having other opportunities to get back in here again if we wanted to look around for other stuff?
Yeah, sounds good idea, really.
Jellybean, Vixen, what do you think?
Certainly sounds very interesting, Grimlyn. Good idea.
What you got jingling around your brain box there?
Well, it also depends how long we're prepared to put in some work. We could try and get somebody in there to work in there, so we've got a connection. Somebody could let us in. Let's have a look around. We'd be able to manage some of the other people to keep them away if we wanted to have a bit of a snoop anytime. That's not going to happen overnight, so it kind of depends how quickly we want to do this and whether we want to invest in that.
Well, I think we've got time. There's no urgent need for the deed. It's just beneficial potentially to us.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I still don't understand what's going on. Or maybe I do. So this unknown quantity has sent us a message to get us to go somewhere where we don't really need to go, to steal something we don't really need to steal. I'm a bit suspicious.
Well, you're quite right. It could be some form of trap, although we won't find out more about the mystery probably without doing it. But the problem, I suppose, with not going there is that someone else might go there, i.e. them, and take our deed and then cause problems for us being here. We could take that risk, but
Well, they
Are
seem
there,
to be the only ones that know it's there.
exactly.
are there any other buildings of a similar height around the area?
Yes, there are a fair few. Most of the buildings kind of in that area are all kind of either 4, 5, 6 stories high.
Perhaps getting up one of those may be a bit easier. Finding a way across. Picking up some gear.
If it's canal facing, we may be able to come in through a lower level. That depends if we could scope out some of the other buildings. Maybe.
So you're saying what we should really do is, are we going to try and creep in there rather than infiltrate? You don't want me to start putting my charms on, so seducing someone.
I mean, that would be an alternative. It would just be a short term, like we wouldn't get more access beyond that one night. That's
Well,
you know.
I don't just do one night stands.
You could try and get a job
Though
there.
to be fair, if that was what we were looking for, we could probably employ some people to deal with that for us.
Right. But I mean, either I don't know, but either we're going to creep in there and take it ourselves, or we're going to find someone on the inside to help us get in. One or the other is outright, is it not? That sounds the best two modes how we're going to approach this. Would you say?
So far, that's, I guess, the plan.
So which one suits you better? I'm all for the sneaky in if you want. We take what we want, we get out of there. But I'm all for the seduction as well.
That would be fun.
I mean, if we went in when there were lots of people in there and just waited, would be a way to be in there without being seen, particularly. It's the
Depends how good their security is
choice we
overnight.
make.
We can go and... Is it open to the public? Do we know?
No, it's not open to the public. You have to make an appointment if you wish to go in there. And to make an appointment, you generally have to be someone of good standing.
Oh, I could make an appointment, I suppose.
That's another potential way in then.
Well, for me anyway. I don't know if that would be we want as our actual way in or just as a way to case the joint.
My inclination is stealth, as most of the other ways we are seen to be around if anything goes wrong or if they notice a missing record.
Indeed.
Well, how would you like to go about this then?
Yeah.
We need to make a decision, team, on which way you're going to go in. Are you going to go with seduction, so social, or are you going to try and talk your way in and stay there, outstay your welcome, or are you going to do stealth and try and get there maybe at a time when it's quiet, or during the day when it's quiet? But it's normally very busy during the day. It's only when, well, what passes for night in Doskvol, whenever that hits, that is when it goes quiet and everyone leaves for the day.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. If we're going in entirely unseen, hopefully it would want to be nighttime.
Is there any information you want to gather? You can use your rolls to gather some information before we go to the plan.
I think the only thing that Grimlyn would try to do is see whether or not we could get access to any building kind of plans, or if those are in the Hall of Records. Because that might give us a better idea of if we are going to try and get in unseen, kind of what our best route is.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry, go ahead, Jellybean.
Yeah, I mean, to let the roll happen, but just in case they coincide together, I'd like to look at the shipping times. Like maybe if there's something like a cargo that we could kind of step onto in the dark briefly, just to get slightly down. Particularly then if it was a building that maybe Grimlyn identifies, that would work together.
Okay. Yep. We'll go. Vixen, I know you're going to say something as well.
I was going to see if we could speak with some of the brothels where the guards may partake to see if anything could slip from their lips of a cellar entrance or any juicy information that tends to come out with pillar talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 gathering information rolls here. So first we'll go to Grimlyn. What skill would you like to use to try and see if you can acquire the maps?
I would like to use my new study skill, please.
Wonderful. Yeah. Give me a study roll then, please, and we'll see how well you do. Brilliant. Yes. There are maps of this building. They're not official maps. Using your various contacts and friends. In fact, you have a new, as a party, as a gang, you have a spy network. And Rosalind Turner is actually able to get you the plans, your spy master. She hands you these plans of the building. They are hand drawn, but they're not terrible. So the building is over 6 floors. The 3rd and 4th floors, it's a large sort of vaulted chamber, so it's 2 floors knocked into one basically. That's the Hall of Records. On the 5th floor, that is where the central directory is. The upper floor, the 6th floor, is offices. And the lower floors are all the old record floors. So floors, the ground floor, and the first floor. Ground floor and first floor are kind of look like empty chambers. So yeah. Oh, yeah, ground floor, first floor, and second floor. Sorry. Yeah. So ground floor, first floor, second floor, empty chambers. 3rd and 4th floor are the Hall of Records, and the 5th floor, the top floor, sorry, is the central directory.
I assume that people enter in at the ground floor. Is that right?
Yes, they do. And then you have to go up through the empty offices to try, or the empty floors to try and get to the record floors.
Okay.
It does look like there was a time in the past when these floors did have something on them.
Okay.
Cool. So that's some extra information you've managed to get. So Jellybean, the shipping times, how are you going to find that out?
Sway.
Okay, who are you going to try and sway?
Some harbour master, I suppose.
Okay.
To just show me what's the shipping schedule. I'm interested in the trade routes that my parents are involved with.
Cool. Yep. Give me a sway roll then, please. Yeah. It's a 5, so that's a success with a complication.
Before you think of the complication, because of my power, when I sway someone, I can make them forget it's happened.
Okay. That
So
does
it's not
change
going to be
it.
that he blabs.
No. Ooh. So yeah, he says this burly harbour master says, "Oh well, yeah, of course I'll take you through them," and shows you this big list of all the things going on that day. He's more than happy to show you. You get the shipping schedule for the next sort of week. Yeah, the complication is he obviously won't remember it. Yeah, I'm gonna mark something down. A secret clock is going to start.
Okay. Jellybean becomes a shipping nerd.
It's got 8 segments. Right. Good work, Jellybean. And then finally, Vixen, you wanted to speak with the brothels. So, what skill are you going to use? And yeah, what information do you want to try and get?
I believe sway would be persuasion.
Yep, that would work.
And generally what the sort of guards in the area say when they visit. I'm not going to particularly dive into any particular information, as I don't aim to give away as much as minimal as I can.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, roll me a sway roll.
Fail.
The guards, most of the guards on the brothels, as you approach them, or just kind of fold their arms. And one guard, most of them just sort of shake their heads and go, "We're on duty." One guard, a lady, looks at you and just goes, "You know, we see your type quite a lot around here, coming around asking questions. You'd be better off keeping your mouth shut, if you know what I mean."
Very well. Blink off.
Yeah. It seems that a lot of the guards are now feeling quite wary about you. With that, unfortunately, with a 3. But you have some more information to get put into your plan. So does that change potentially doing stealth or seduction?
I'm not sure who we're seducing from the information we've gathered anyway. Well, we can collate what we've found out about the buildings and the ships. We don't have to use any of those approaches. So, were there any ships identified that were specifically floating past at a good time?
There are several ships just that will go past at night.
Throughout the night, yeah.
Yeah, throughout the night. Now it is a place with gondolas, so they're more like barges. They're not tall ships.
No, I mean that's better really. We want something we can just hop on and hop off.
Yeah, they are barges. So there are barges that go throughout the night. In theory, you could hop on one of them and hop off one of them, and go down to the lowest level, and try and get through sort of like the back door.
But yeah, that would still likely require some level of persuasion. There's probably going to be someone on the barge.
Well, with the engagement roll, you choose one roll.
That's right.
So yeah, with the engagement, it is one roll. It just covers everything. You don't use a skill, doesn't matter. I just need to know your method of entry if you're going to do stealth, which it does seem like you're leaning towards stealth. So I just need to know your method of entry now, and then we will jump straight into the action. So if you're all happy with stealth, Because it sounds like that was what you wanted to do.
I mean, Barkin Larkin isn't. He's currently getting his hair greased back and making himself look. But that's a character thing rather than a player thing. So stealth, yes. The
The
only
GM
real
is
question,
pleased.
the real, but I could try and seduce some of your NPCs. It's going to be amazing.
Yes, yes, you could. And I look forward to it.
So if we are going to do stealth, it seems that we've got two options really. Vixen has kind of put some questioning about going high, buildings that overlook it and getting some kind of rope or whatever. And Jellybean and Grimlyn has kind of looked on the opposite end of the scale of these barges, back door, working up through the building. I don't know. Going from below upwards is going to be easier because we're not necessarily going to have to complicate things with grapples and that like thing, but then we've got to make our way through the building. So yes, I think stealth if everybody's agreed, but all we need to decide is high or low basically. Should we vote?
Yep.
Right. Who wants to go high?
I always vote to go high.
Yeah.
That's 2. Low.
Okay, well,
2 high, 2 low.
Split the pie.
Well, you have options here. You could either try and convince each other, or we could leave it down to the roll of a d6.
I'm not that fussy. I don't mind. It's just how we would get in from the top, as you say. Like, do we need some equipment
through stealth?
Stealth from like another rooftop, maybe. I know we don't really need to define it too heavily in here, but
Exactly.
Yep.
Grimlyn, are you convinced that low is the best way? Because I'm actually scared of you. So if you say, we've got to do it, I will change my vote to go with you.
I think it's easier to go low, work up.
Let's
I
go
think the
low
trouble
then.
is if we come in high and there's a problem, getting out will be harder.
No, it won't. We jump out a window. We'll soon get down.
6 floors up, yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
We'll get down, but you won't be alive.
Canals, splash, absolutely fine. You've never jumped out of a window 6 stories down into a dirty canal. Come to think of it, neither have I. But I mean, it sounds fun.
So we are proceeding with stealth, and we're going with the option that Jellybeans mentioned of trying to get in the lower side via the barges.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I
So
love the
next I need to find out what your loadouts are. So this is going to be light, medium, or heavy. Grimlyn, what are you going with?
I'm going medium.
Medium. Vixen.
I think heavy.
Heavy. Jellybean.
medium.
Medium. Ooh. And Barkin Larkin, what are you going for?
Heavy. I've invented an item.
Oh, I love it. Brilliant. I can't wait to find out what it is. So now we do the engagement roll. So we start with 1d6 for pure luck. Then we need to think, is this operation particularly bold or daring? You are breaking into a government building. I'm going to say yes. Is it overly complex or contingent on many factors?
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one taken away. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they are weakest? No, it is the Hall of Records. It is their stronghold. Is the target strongest against his approach? Do they have particular defenses or special preparations? No, they don't. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid for this operation? I'm going to say yes, because Jellybean, you have looked up the shipping, the barges. Can anyone else? Well, sorry, you only get 1d6 for that. Enemies or rivals that are interfering in the operation.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Barkin Larkin always has an enemy or rival. Are there any other elements we want to consider? Anything else that think might give you an extra d6?
I've had a wash.
I mean,
Nobody's going to want to discover us because Barkin's turned his best to be seductive.
I was going to say, if Barkin's got his scent on, maybe that.
This is how we're going to get out of being discovered, is when we are discovered. We're going to leave it to Barkin Larkin.
Yeah. The old seducing, the old James T. Kirk, your way out of there. Then this is 1d.
It doesn't need to be anything. I'm just saying what I've done.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy not to have a bonus.
No, so because of the plan you're doing, it is only 1d6 for the engagement roll. This is risky.
A little bit.
Oh, a 5. So this means you are not in a bad position. You are in a risky position. So here's how this plays out. You alight. You get onto the barges. You sneak on board. The barge goes down towards Silkshore, winding its way through the canals. Eventually, it starts to pass the Hall of Records. There's a small dock at the Hall of Records when they have bulk records to bring in and take away. You all hop off. It's at this point that you realize that the door is locked. You are currently on this dock and you can hear the whistling of somebody on a bridge kind of above you. So the dock's sort of canal level and there's a bridge just kind of up there and you can hear sort of the whistling of someone, almost like they're going to do some rounds. There's a set of steps going down onto this dock and the whistling is getting louder. Over to you.
Can anyone break in?
I mean, Grimlyn's instinct would be to try and pick the lock.
Brilliant. So do you have a means to do that?
Yes, I always carry Tinker's tools to enable me to mess with things like that.
Wonderful. Then give me a roll, please. Ooh. So,
apparently not.
No.
A 3 and a 2.
No, that's a failure. You start to try and pick the lock. You completely fail in it, and the whistling gets louder.
Can we try and set an ambush?
We might have a key.
Is there anywhere to hide along here?
There are crates and things. And I would also like to remind everyone, there are things you can do to help each other. So you have the option when you are making a roll of assisting someone else. So you take a stress and you give somebody else a d6. You can lead a group action, so you all try it. But that means the person that's leading the group action takes a failure from everyone. If someone fails, they take a stress. You can also push yourself, which means you take 2 stress but get to add a d6. Or you could ask for Devil's Bargain, or you could flash back to try and make something easier for yourselves. So, with that in mind, how do you want to deal with this situation?
I think I'm leaning towards setting an ambush. It sounds, I presume, like one person whistling.
Yep, that's what you think.
I can do bait, I suppose. Or, I mean, Grimlyn, you look innocent too, with your very nice hat.
Set an ambush.
Cool. How do you want to do this? Do you want to do it as a group action, where you will roll the same thing? Do you want to, how do you want to do this? Who wants to to do this. Remember, we only do one roll for these things, so one of you has to roll for it, or unless it's a group action, you all roll the same thing.
I'm happy to give it a go.
Okay. So what would you like to do then?
Arrange an ambush. I think that would fall under hunt.
Okay. So I presume you're going to get everyone else to hide again. That can get covered by this roll too. So what are you going to do? Describe to me how you want to do it and then make your hunt roll.
Okay, so looking around, just got off the barge. I'm guessing there's going to be crates and barrels around.
Yep.
Maybe even something that's piled up fairly high.
Yep.
I think I'd be climbing up to the highest point I can, pulling out scope perhaps to take a glance at where the guard is, trying to gesture the others into a position that we can all either swarm him or try our best to hide to completely avoid him, depending on how things go.
Wonderful. Cool. So make your hunt roll then, please.
Okay. 2d6.
That's good. So with 5, that is a success with a complication. Were you going to be the one ambushing them, Vixen, or did you want were you going to signal to somebody else to jump out and get them?
I imagine that I might have a quick word with the Grimlyn would probably be the best person to grab somebody.
Okay. So this guard.
Okay, just for clarity, is this you want me to grab him or you want me to knock him unconscious? I'm just checking because those are two very different things.
I don't care which one. Well, if he's got keys, his words aren't going to help us, are they? Knock him unconscious.
Okay. So can I engage a flashback, please?
You certainly can, yes.
So while we were planning, and in fact, while I was trying to reduce some of our heat because I'm really resentful of the fact that they've taken over my favourite tea house, I would have asked that it's never going to go away. This asked Rosalind if she would help me to make a mask. So I'm guessing it would probably be like like you think of like death masks and things like that. But I would get her to try to make it as similar to the person who was in charge of the boys and girls who kind of had a go as I can.
Yep.
So that should you remember anything, it might misdirect a bit of heat because I'm not bitter.
That's amazing. So I will say for that one, don't take any stress.
Okay.
Because I think narratively that's brilliant. I think what's going to happen instead. So you're not going to take any stress. So what this means, and I'm not going to again because Vixen did the roll. You don't need to roll for this one. It means that for the complication, you're not going to be getting heat, which is what you were going to be getting. You are instead going to be getting a clock with 8 segments, and the clock is called Discovered. Because what happens, you're wearing this mask, this guard comes down the stairs, and he grabs you, and he looks around, sees your mask, as you grab him, he looks around, sees your mask, and goes, "What the bloody heck?" And then you kind of get him choked out. But he does go, "Oh!" in the process, which echoes out. And it's a scream in the night's not an uncommon thing here. But he is a guard on patrol. And, well, that patrol, presumably, if he's not back at a certain time, he's going to be missed. But you have an unconscious guard on the floor. He has keys.
Imagine we'll be taking those and trying to use them to unlock the door.
Yeah, you don't have to roll anything for that. So you get the keys, you unlock the door, and you enter into a what smells it smells very musty. There's a lot of dust in the air. There are things under dust sheets in this room. It's not a very you get an immediate unpleasant feeling. It's cold. It's clammy at the same time. You can no longer hear the sounds of the city outside the moment you come inside. In fact, the silence is loud, if that makes sense.
Magically so?
Can I reach out with my senses?
You can. I will ask for a roll for this.
Yeah,
though.
of course.
So, what would you like to use to reach out?
I'm assuming a tune kind of is appropriate.
Yep.
I just got
Yeah,
2
that
dice.
sounds good.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna sort of reach out. That is really bad.
So, yeah. It's not that you're not good at this. You are good at this. You reach out to try and find ghosts, but the trouble is you are in an old area of the city with lots of old buildings on the water. There are ghosts everywhere, and it's very difficult for you to focus in just on this building. It's all you're getting at the moment is like every radio station's playing on top of each other.
Okay. I'm assuming I can try again as we get further up and try.
If you're in a different situation, yes,
Yeah,
you can give it another go, but you've got to sort of move out of where you are right now.
It's too noisy. I can't tell.
Yeah.
Probably haunted, as is every other place round here.
Vixen would like to rummage around in her bag and get the ghost charm and hook into a little necklace around her neck.
Brilliant. Yeah, the charm is vibrating. The charm is actually humming slightly. Only you can hear it, but it is vibrating in this building, massively so.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, with an unconscious guard outside, we better get moving.
Do you wish to do anything with the guard actually before you move on? I'm not going to be so cruel as to let you just.
Yeah, I'm assuming we put him somewhere out of the way.
Lay him face up and let him drift down the canal.
Whoa.
Yeah, you'll be hearing the bong of the bell from the bell of the crematorium if you do that.
Exactly.
I mean, you can just stick him in a box or prop him up if you want to. Just are you leaving him there on the dock?
No, probably pulling him in the room and leaving him inside.
Okay.
Has anybody got any rope? I'm finding it quite difficult to move. You see that Barkin, he just looks massive now, and he's got a huge cloak that is kind of wrapped around him, so he's not really got sort of any overly free hands. He's got a large hat on as well. Has anybody brought any rope?
I would imagine that Grimlyn would have some rope.
It comes out your gear, though. That's the thing.
Heavy load, though.
Yeah. How often do the barges come by? That's another question.
There's probably a barge every sort of 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, we probably don't have that long to wait, probably, I would think.
Not with a clock.
Thinking we could put him in a box and put him on the barge. Then he'd be quite far away when he wakes up, not able to let anyone know.
Perhaps we could leave him visible at the side and just splash whiskey everywhere.
Yeah, the old classic.
You have some whiskey?
I always have whiskey, my dear.
Absolutely.
Or we could just tie him up and gag him and just make sure he can't tell anybody.
True. It would be a waste of good whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
Well, crap whiskey, actually, but...
If he's lost his keys, though, they'll assume whoever attacked him came in, I guess. Whereas if we just make it look like he was drunk and fell over, he might not wake up. Yeah.
We need to get.
I don't drink whiskey, so I don't know if it really has much heavy an effect if you actually gave him some. But I know the smell is a good subterfuge.
Well,
Yeah.
what would you like to do? Oh, sorry.
And
Barkin
this
feels like the safest, so.
tying it up is safer. With the whiskey may buy us more time if they find him and think, oh, he's just drunk, rather than, oh, there's an intrusion. But we should be a quick in and out. Let's tie him up.
Cool. Yep, you can tie him up. Again, I'm not going to make you roll for that one. You're in a control position when tying him up. So yeah, he's tied up and left inside in this delivery room, storeroom, basically. There is another door that leads beyond.
Who wants to go and have a peep?
Can I see through any keyholes or anything?
You can, yes. There is a large hallway beyond. It looks like this is the entrance hall. It looks grand, quiet. You can hear, however, a strange sound. Sounds like someone playing the violin, echoing all around the hall.
There isn't a clear sense of direction that it's coming from. It's just all everywhere.
At the moment, it's just coming from beyond the doorway. You can just sort of hear it coming through the doors. But
Do any
guessing
of
beyond
us
that,
recognise the tune?
it's an old one. If anyone knows anything about Doskvol lore, sort of older folk stuff, then you might know it.
Only if it would be a sort of maudlin song tied into the occult, really.
Yeah, you probably would actually.
And it would have had to be played sort of in sort of alehouses and the like, rather than, I'm not a student of music.
Yeah.
So
It's called the Eyes of Beauty.
Eyes of Beauty.
It's an old, sad song, as they quite often are, about unrequited love.
See.
There's a few deaths in it. There always are.
See. I've still got the seduction on the back burner. Someone sat out there, passing the time playing the violin.
Suspicious.
What? Why?
Well, it's nighttime.
Yeah, it's probably a guard passing the time, doing a bit of practice.
It should be guarded.
I'll hold up the
Fancy
charm.
arts are a valuable pursuit. Sorry, Vixen.
Because I'll hold up the charm and say it's starting to vibrate a bit more, I believe, as we approach closer. But we don't have much other option. We need to go through there. I'd say we just need to proceed forward. Perhaps quietly. If we can identify where it's coming from beyond this hall, then maybe we can avoid it. But for now, we just need to keep pushing forward.
Yeah, let's just head up. We just want to get us upstairs as fast as possible to the vault.
So there's so you can open the doors and step into the main hallway. Marble pillars run from floor to ceiling in this large ceilinged room. There is a rather ornate reception desk with very good woodwork that sits in the middle. There are some papers on the desk and a rather uncomfortable looking chair behind it. You can see on the wall there is a painted directory that indicates that the lower floors have nothing on them. and it is all from floor 3 and above, so 3 and 4, Hall of Records, 5th floor, central directory, and offices. And the stairs just have arrows that point up. The moment you get into this room, though, the violin music stops.
Anyone playing? Any?
Well, give me a roll. What skill would you like to use?
I was just going to use my eyes. I don't have anything that's investigative.
No, you can't see anyone playing. But if you want to do more than that, then you'd have to give me a roll.
Vixen, maybe?
If you want to follow it up, or you could just ignore it and keep going.
I can give it a go. We've heard the tune enough. I'd like to try and quietly replicate humming it as I'm looking around.
Okay, so yeah, give me a roll, please. What skill would you like to use for this?
Survey or study, I suppose. It's one dice for either.
Yep.
Can I help at this point?
See how we go.
4, that's a success with a complication. So you're walking around. You're trying to determine where this sound came from. There is a large set of stairs. They go up a floor, and then they turn and they go back on themselves. And there's like a balcony over the top of this large hallway. You think that the sound was coming from up there, because as you're moving around and you're humming this tune, you start to get the feeling that you're not alone. I'm going to start a clock that's got 4 segments, and I'm going to call it Not Alone.
Is this a feeling that someone else is there, like guards, or is this a feeling that, temperature's kind of dropped or being looked at from the shadows, that kind of feeling?
Vixen, now you feel the hair on the back of your neck stand up. You feel that horrible tingle going down your spine where things just don't feel quite right. Your body is getting colder, but your hands are getting clammier. You are, unfortunately, being followed, but you turn around, you see no one. And just as you all are in here, the door that you've came through just boom slams. The sound of the slam echoes.
I think Auntie Helen might have been right.
I think it's rather rude. I try and join in its beautiful music and it slams the door on me.
Spirits are erratic. No. There's some lovely ones. It's not harmed us yet. In many ways, it's good that we've got company here. The noise that this often will make will cover our progress. The thing we need to determine is whether it is hostile or not, whether it will help us or not.
So there's a set of stairs going up. There are doors leading to the first floor if you want to investigate it. There are doors leading to the second floor, or you could proceed up towards the 3rd floor.
I think we need to get in and out as soon as possible and move forward to where we think this item that we don't need to steal it, and is probably locked away really, really safely at the moment. We're about to take it out of this safe place. So we best be about it.
Okay. So you head up the stairs. You with this feeling of being followed, Vixen. When you get to the top of the stairs, there is a door. This is where these stairs finish at the 3rd floor. And the door is a set of double doors. Painted in gold on the doors are Hall of Records. However, one thing is very evident. Somebody is sleeping on the other side of the door. From the loud snoring you can hear.
Suspicious.
Well, it's probably a guard. Do the doors open out or open in?
They look like they open inwards.
Right. That is perfect guard position to kind of just rest against the doors.
You can see the doors gently moving with the...
We were told that there's a light guarding of it at night, wasn't we?
Yep.
Is it double doors or a single door?
Double doors.
Have you got any of your strange chemicals, Grimlyn?
Well, I have, but I also wondered if we were really quiet, whether I could take the hinge off the door so at least we can get into the room.
Well, I mean, go for it.
If he's only leaning on one, we can open the other one.
Both
And
doors
then-
are moving backwards and forwards.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, he is leaning against both of them, I'm afraid. But it was a good idea.
Okay.
Barkin, do you think it would be foolish to continue humming and try and encourage it to play again in the hopes of waking and perhaps spooking the guard?
But I have no idea. I mean, there's one way to find out if you stand really close to the balcony and start humming. If you don't get shoved off down 2 floors, we know all is good. You know, for science and the like.
Well, I think you know the song a bit better than I do.
I do. Unfortunately, I can't carry a note in a bucket.
If there's no other ideas, I may attempt it.
I'll watch out for you, don't worry. You know, see how far you fall.
Okay. So, what would you like to do then, Vixen?
I suspect this is going to be trying to attune to the spirit as I try and get it to come along.
Okay. Remember, people can help. You can push yourself, taking 2 stress. You could do a group action. You could do a flashback if you think there's something you could do in a flashback. Or you could take a devil's bargain.
Interesting. What could you offer me for a devil's bargain?
Well, if you take a devil's bargain, you don't get anything else. So, yes. I am going to say you can do this. I'll give you 1d6, but you will take level 1 harm of just troubled.
I think I've only got 1 stress. I'm going to try and push myself.
Okay, that's fine then. So, yeah, you get 2 stress and an extra d6. Or if you hadn't had anything, you get 1. So, let's see what you do.
Okay. Well,
No. You start to try and attune to this thing. I'm going to fill another segment on the Not Alone clock. And 1 on Discovered.
Oh no.
And you hear whispering in your ear, Vixen, I can me in.
Perhaps she was so insulting to your honey.
I'm guessing none of us can hear this. It's just
No,
Justin
just-
Vixen's here.
Just Vixen, yep.
Excellent.
Let's see. Oh, how much do I know about having been taken over? Barkin seems to do it as a hobby, so surely it can't be that bad.
I mean, I think that is a contradiction in terms. Anything that Barkin does as a hobby is perhaps
Hobby.
something definitely to avoid. But I mean, you do you. Absolutely.
You know generally that being taken over by a spirit is not a good thing. Most people know, if they believe in spirits, being taken over by a spirit is a really bad thing. Because you might not be you again when the spirit leaves, if it chooses to leave.
I will. I've not got many other options. I'm going to probably shiver, try not to look backwards, and say, if you can help us, we have a wonderful theatre that you can play in. You could join us.
Okay, you're going to need to give me a roll for this one.
Is this where I make a note as well?
Well, you've heard him say this out loud,
Yeah,
or you
yeah,
heard
yeah.
her say this out loud. So I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to make me a roll, I'm afraid.
Yep, fair enough. Way, I suppose.
Yeah, give me a sway roll then.
Oh
Double
dear,
threes.
not tonight.
Not alone is going up. No. Revenge is in your head now. It's constantly for the next sort of minute or so going to be whispering revenge into your ears. While that's going on, I turn to maybe Jellybean, Grimlyn. Any other plans, or Larkin, to get through this door? You do have the plans for the building as well, remember?
Are there any
would
other
those-
ways into this room other than the staircase and the sort of door that we have in front of us?
Yes, there is. You have to go down to floor 2 and cross floor 2, and at the back of it, there is another staircase that leads up to floor 3, but you have to cross floor 2, which is empty.
Oh, Grimlyn, I want to get out of here, but there might be more ghosts down there as well. Feel like it.
So if you've got something that we can knock this fella out, some kind of gas or chemical, then we can proceed this
Trusty
way.
chloroform.
If not, then we don't have any other choice but to descend, move across floor 2 and up the other way.
I mean, I don't leave home without chloroform, so I mean,
You self-respecting
we just
lady
need
do.
to find a way to just get the door open enough. So maybe it's about the timing between when he's pushing on the door. You can use that as
Either
he
that,
kind of
or if
goes
he's
forward. And
against the door, is there a keyhole here or anything that we can get
There
liquid
is a
or gas
keyhole,
through?
yes.
so we could use the rag that I was going to use to put over his face and soak it in chloroform and kind of try and push most of it through. But that does mean everybody needs to take a step back, and I'd have to cover my mouth before we start because I don't want us all to fall asleep, because that is not ideal.
So that sounds like a very good plan. Who's going to do this? Is anyone going to help you?
Happy to
Sounds
help if I can.
I'm taking
Yep.
a step back.
Yep, that's fine. So yeah, Grimlyn and Jellybean. What role are you going to do, Grimlyn?
I'm thinking that it's probably finesse, because it's about kind of being able to manipulate that on a sort of fairly fine scale.
Brilliant. Yep. So Jellybean, take 1 stress as you are going to, with your tiny childlike fingers, childlike because you are a child. You are, yeah. You help Grimlyn. So yeah, you take a stress, and Grimlyn, you get an extra D6. So yeah, roll. Oh, I only saw 1 D6 there. Was that all you had?
Oh, there's
Oh
another
no.
one gone.
Yeah, so I should have rolled.
Sn-
Yeah, I should have rolled 2 dice, but it rolled 1. But it rolled 1 twice. So
So yes, you
the dice don't like us today.
no, they don't today, unfortunately.
And it's brilliant.
Yeah. As you are often fond of saying, the dice are telling a story, and the story they're currently telling you is, as always, players are defeated by a door. You try your best. Unfortunately, you are unable to. You're unable to get the rag even in there. It's just too thick. It's stuck on this side.
Okay. Well, we've tried subtle. We can just smash the door in, then knock him out too. I mean,
or we can just go downstairs and along, and then up the other way.
everyone can probably sense a bit of frustration in Grimlyn's voice when it's like the subtle way hasn't worked, so I'm just gonna break it.
Larkin, how do you deal with this incessant whispering? Oh, it also sounds vengeful.
Yeah, you.
Don't want a ghost man coming back again.
Yeah, it's you know, I don't know. I mean, you just hear the voices and you listen to them, and there's nothing wrong with me at all. Doesn't affect me at all. Don't know what the problem is.
Are you a duck now, Barkin?
You are. What's wrong with being a dog? Brought up by
Nothing.
dogs.
I thought you did a bit of a quack there instead.
A duck. Didn't understand your posh accent.
No, you're probably not used to hearing
La di
correct
da.
speech usually. I understand, but
Well, I think we're all getting a little tense here because no one can do anything.
correct.
So,
And the ghosts, probably the ghosts. I know they don't affect you, but they're creepy. I don't like them.
Yeah, well, very sensible.
Revenge.
Right, well, let's go downstairs to 2. You got the plans, and we'll walk along the empty. It's an empty room, and then we'll go up the other stairs, and then we'll be on 3. It's going to be daylight soon.
let's go then.
Okay. So, you head down to floor 2. You open the door. You can hear the sounds of a dripping water pipe, but you can't see one. It smells like moldy paper in this room. You can see littered across the floor are long, degraded sheets of paper, bits of parchment. There's the odd quill, upturned ink bottles, but there's no furniture in here at all. It looked like this might have once been a large office. The windows are all boarded up, not that there would be any light coming in at all. The odd electric lamp is still hooked up, flickers and flutters, providing minimal light to this room. It seems as you stare down across to the other side, you can see the doorway to the staircase, but it seems like this room gets longer and longer the more you stare at it.
Maybe we go and kick the
Is
door.
this on the plan?
Yeah. So, Grimlyn, you know that it is on the plans. This room is on, and in its current state of emptiness, it's on the plans.
Does it have an infinite staircase on the plans?
No, it doesn't. No, so it's not infinitely long. It's just that the more you look at the end of the room, it's like that push pull effect. On film, where it just the back of the room just seems to get further away.
I don't know if it was going to be actually getting further away, like Mario 64 style.
Don't know.
Right, I'll lead the way. Move forward.
It's at times like this you remember that Larkin, that there are different types of ghosts. You have echoes, which are loops of behavior captured in the ghost field, repeating over and over. They haven't really got any will of their own, but they're still dangerous. They sometimes manifest at the sight of an extremely violent event, whether or not the death was involved. Spectres are malevolent spirits who want to possess a victim to drain its essence and take vengeance upon those they believe wronged in life. Sound familiar? Horrors are non-human electroplasmic entities that live within the ghost field. They're very rare within the city, but common in the Deathland beyonds. Reconciled, they're ghosts that have stayed sane and do not crave life essence or vengeance as spectres do. They're very, very rare. And you currently potentially have one in your head. And then there are spirit wells, which are rifts in the veil of reality where ghosts and other supernatural beings congregate and draw energy. They are, in ancient myth, the spawning ground for demons. So, armed with that information, you take a step into this room, and the moment you do, it's like someone's flicked a switch. You hear this strange noise as it sounds like scribbling of quills on parchment, the sound of people talking, the sound of chairs moving around. And as you move into the room further, you start to see these ghosts, these echoes, going about their daily business, moving around the office. And then after a moment or after sort of a minute or so, they all reset on a constant loop.
All right. It seems to be another ghost loop.
Do I know whether it's safe to pass through? Can these things be interacted with, or are they best not disturbed? I can roll for that knowledge if I
No,
need to.
you are someone that knows about ghosts. You know that with these ghosts, it's best not to get too close to them because they can cause harm to people if you get too close. I mean, these things are terrifying to people. I mean, these are the specters of the dead that are clinging on to life, moving around this room. If you tried to walk through one as a normal person, you would take harm.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be good to move through them.
Does everybody see that, or is it just me?
You all see it.
Yeah.
You all see it. As soon as you go in, these ghosts are everywhere, and they're on a loop, so they're not looking horrific. They just look like people, but it's still not something that most people are used to seeing, and it's the sort of thing that you're gonna have to find some way to cross this room without passing through any of the ghosts because they're everywhere.
Oh,
So we have a choice. I go very serious for a moment. This is very dangerous. It's probably easier to wake the guard up and render him unconscious than do this, but you can guarantee no one's going to follow us this way. It's up to you. What is important is sequence recognition here. You see the way they play out over and over again, the actions they did in life. You need to watch. You need to watch it play out, and when one moves, you need to be able to move into a place that it's not there, and all the way through this office, and get it wrong or mistime it. It will be bad. That word doesn't cover really what will happen.
So there's a point in the loop where they are not there, and we go in then.
I'm assuming it's like someone stands up from a desk, moves across the room, but there's a whole office of them moving around.
Yeah, it's like one of those gauntlets that you have to move through. Everything's moving, so you have to find the right time to go through it.
I can stand on protective duties, I guess, if things go wrong, and attempt to draw them to me. It will mean you probably won't need to give me any coin for this job, but we won't get any coin for this job anyway, so, well, that might all give you a chance, but will doom me. But I'm happy. I have every faith that none of you are going to mistime anything or do anything wrong here.
Is there anything we can do to improve our chances?
Just watch, memorize, and then don't hesitate.
Okay. Can I say I have brought a notepad, sketchpad?
Yeah.
And I would like to, we've got time, I guess, a little bit of time, watch these loops play out.
Okay.
Make notes about, okay, so when he moves here to here to here, it takes about 5 seconds. At this point, then the next one looks like here is here to here to here, sort of thing.
Yeah. So I am going to take that off your box of load. Just that that is one thing from your box of load.
Yep.
So I'd like you to give me a roll, please, to monitor these things to see how well you do. Remember, you can push yourself. You can someone else can help you, and they'll take the stress. You can get a devil's bargain, or we can see if there's something you can do in a flashback that can help you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's a flashback that would help. We didn't know this was going to be here.
You played a game of hopscotch, haven't you? You just need to move like that.
Yeah.
Can I guess that's not possibly help Jellybean, because I have like prowl, so I kind of am used to watching things to time between kind of slit round the corner when X has moved X position or whatever.
Yeah, that's.
I'll take some stress.
Yeah, you take 1 stress, and that's a very, very, very good way to help. So Jellybean, what are you going to roll?
I think finesse would be probably my finest, but I look at the finer details of the movement, I guess, and make nice pictures that are followable and inscriptions.
Yeah. Yes, I like that. Yeah. So roll with 1 extra d6 because of Grimlyn's help.
Yay!
Oh, 6. Brilliant. So you end up with very quickly, with the two of you working together, this diagram that says this is when you need to move when. The benefit for you, Vixen, in this room is that the ghost cannot be heard over all the other ghosts whispering and talking. So currently, Vixen, your ghost chanting revenge in your head is not distracting you as much as it was before. So what this means is that you've gone from a desperate position when attempting to cross the room, which means that you would have been in a very, very bad state if something went wrong, to a risky position. So that means you are now, it's not going to be easy, but it's something you should be able to do. So yeah, you've changed it from a desperate position to a risky position, which is very good. So you've got the map, you've got Larkin that's able to do something, but what do you want to do? Again, only want one roll for this for you to cross the room, but make it the right roll.
So I think I'm going to follow behind, basically, watching in case they mistime it and a ghost affects them. So my help to this will be, if that happens, I'm going to do something to draw the haunt's attention to me instead, and suffer the damages to myself. So I'll take, is it 2 stress for helping?
You can take 2 stress if you want to get if you want to push yourself.
Well, I mean,
or are you trying
I'm
to do
not
the
making
protect action?
I'm not making the dice roll for this.
Right.
I'm helping whoever's making the dice roll.
So if you want to assist someone, that's 1 stress.
It's 1 stress, yeah.
It's 2 if you take it if you want to push yourself. So you take 1 stress to assist, but who wants to lead this walk across the room, this movement across the room?
I can give it a go. I believe hunting covers sort of following behind a target.
I think that would be, yep. And yes, that would be very, very, very appropriate. So you get an extra D6 on top of this, Vixen.
Okay. Don't know if it will be relevant given that we've gathered some information of our targets, but as a scout you get +1 effect when gathering information on locating targets.
Oh, that will help as well. So yeah.
Alright, 3 dice. Let's have better luck.
Okay, good. Yeah. So you move across the room. You lead everyone across the room. You at the front, Vixen. Larkin at the back. Thanks to Jellybean and Grimlyn, you have the way through the room completely mapped out. You know the way to get across. And as you move between these spectral images of people taking files from one place to another, people going about their day, living their normal lives, but you all have the knowledge that each and every person in this room is dead. And these are their echoes, and there's a reason why they're still here. And it's at the moment that you get just near the end that one of the ghosts gets a little too close to you. And Larkin, you do exactly as you said you would do, which is, you can protect someone, which means you take the harm instead of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was intending to do.
Wonderful. Yes. So yes, you protect this person. So you step in and you will face consequences in their stead. So what you can do is you could, if we wish, do a resistance roll. Which means you can reduce or avoid the consequence and take 6 stress minus your highest die result. Or you could take potential harm.
I think I'll just take the harm.
Brilliant. So yes, you take level 1 harm, troubled. What's Grimlyn looking like when she's crossing this room? Is she furious? Is she scared? Tell me what's going on with Grimlyn. Oh, you're on mute.
Okay. I think she's got a bit of frustration because there was a much easier route from her point of view, just knocking out a guy who's not any kind of ghost that we know of. We'll probably have to knock out at some point anyway when we're in the room. This is something that she's really not that keen on, to be honest. But she's also trying to just focus on like you can almost like hear like a small song. It's sort of like there's a film where they kind of do a crime with like a song to help them with the kind of timing of everything, and it's kind of like that she's kind of, she knows the pattern. Yeah, she knows the pattern of kind of where her and Jellybean have kind of talked about timing, so she's using something to help her with that. But she doesn't look cool.
No.
Was
Wonderful. And
Hudson Hawk.
yeah,
it was, yeah.
Hudson Hawk. They swing on a star. I love that film.
It's great.
Brilliant. So and again, so yeah, that's really good flavour to know. And Jellybean, how does Jellybean react to ghosts?
She's freaked out from last time.
Yeah.
She didn't like the man in the stable spawning in front of her. So she's very unhappy with the situation.
Okay. Yes, I can understand that. And I mean, you move through.
Also, you can't stab them.
No.
Unhelpful.
Maybe we should find you a nice ghost knife.
Yeah, definitely. That would make her feel better.
You make it through to the other end of the room, though. Vixen valiantly leading, Larkin following behind, but manages to step in and prevent Vixen from taking any harm. But you get to this staircase, and it's like a service staircase. There's no ornate carvings, there's no marble, there's no pillars. It's just a plain wooden staircase going up and going down as well. You can head up to the 3rd floor. You notice on this staircase, it does also say 3rd floor, record room. And there's a little sign pointing up to say 5th floor, central directory.
Okay. Let's move on up.
Cool. Are you going into the 3rd floor, or are you going to keep on going?
So we, as far we don't know where this document is, do we? But we assume it's in the. Is it the 3rd and 4th floor that is the 2 floors combined?
Yeah. That's the records room, and you were told by Auntie Helen that you might need to look in the central directory to find the location. But you can always have a look in the records room and see.
It makes sense to go to the central directory first, find out where it is, and then descend back down again.
Brilliant. So you head up to the 5th floor, and when you get there, there is a door at the top that just says central directory and offices. What would you like to do?
Well, we do need to look at the central directory.
So you're aware beyond this door is a corridor. You can see the sort of frosted glass, and you can see you can sort of just make out the lights are still on, all the sort of plasma lamps are on, flickering slightly, but then they always do because of the way the electricity works here, thanks to the ghost field. There are you can see potential office doors down the sides of this corridor, and you think you can hear the sound of someone moving around.
Well, over to you. I'm not feeling my best at the moment.
Is there any obvious like wiring for the lights or anything like that?
low. You can see it's all just kind of in this corridor. It looks like this is where it runs up and then goes down to the base of the building.
Okay. So can I try to work out which of the lighting streams go into the offices?
Yep.
Because I want to see potentially whether we could at least interrupt the flow now, not necessarily like permanently disable it, but just the equivalent of a fuse going so it kind of forces them out of their office or whatever to come and investigate, and then hopefully we'll have a plan by then.
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, give me a roll. Give me a roll. So either, again, remember, you can push yourself, you can push yourself to take some stress, or someone can help you, or you can do a flashback or devil's bargain.
I think she's used to doing tinkering type things, so unless anyone is also good with tinkering, I'm okay to do that.
No.
I can tinker, but I'm a little bit shaken at the moment. I'm happy to try and help you if you want.
It's all right, you can sit this one out. Jellybean, do you want to help?
Good. Did anybody bring any food?
I can try and help it as well if it's, like you say, tiny hands that hold things steady for you. Try and look what's going on.
I'm Tinker's tools. Yeah.
Right. So, Jellybean, take a stress. And Grimlyn, roll Tinker, please.
So that's Tinker +1 from Jellybean.
Yeah, that's good. 5's good. As a complication, I am going to tick another box on discovered. But so your intention was to mess with these lights, and you hear just a, and then you hear from one of the offices down below a, bugger, not the lights again. Ah, crikey, they're always bloody going. Right, time to go check the bloody fuse box. And you hear a thunk, thunk, thunk. It sounds like this person's coming towards the door to this stairway.
Oh, wait, we better get out this.
So are we going to hide? Is that it? Or are we going to deal with them?
Probably both. Can we get them to come out here maybe and then like lock the doors behind them? If we can all get around them.
So if they, I'd chloroform because I still have it ready.
Well, if you got more, why
It's
not?
just if you want to do something else.
I think we need to render them unconscious, because otherwise, if we just lock them in here, they'll make a noise or whatever.
Okay. Do you want me to like just stand here to make him confused so you can get him easier, or?
Maybe if you make a sound coming up the stairs so he looks in your direction. And then if I stand on the other side of the door, I'll be coming from behind him, so he won't see it coming.
Yep. Okay. So I'll position myself ready. Everyone else hide.
Okay. I like the sound of this. I like the sound of this. So someone's going to have to give me a roll, though. One of you is going to have to choose what skill you want to use to achieve this plan.
Could do with like a performance roll, really, but I don't. Sort of sway, but to throw a bit of performance deception in there of.
Yep. It's up to you.
It's misdirection.
Yeah, I mean, I'm as equally good in both. So if you let me use sway, that's fine.
Yep, I'll
got
let
the
you
same
use
sway
either
and
one.
finesse. So.
Yep. Cool. Brilliant.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I like the sound of this. Give me a roll, Jellybean. Let's see how well you do.
Could be worse.
Yeah, no, that's good. He opens the door. Now you do have that. You did use sway, didn't you?
Yes, I do.
So maybe you won't remember it.
You won't remember.
No. So he opens the door, and he looks for a moment at you, Jellybean, and he goes, sorry, young miss. Sorry, the lights are out in there, and there's a bit of a bit. Hang on a minute, what are you doing it?"
And then
And
it's too late.
and at that moment, he says good night. As Grimlyn, you manage to get the chloroform round his mouth, and you see everyone else just sees his eyes just kind of as he goes absolutely just floppy in your arms, and is sleeping very well. However, in your head, Vixen, you hear yes, revenge. I'm going to tick another box on not alone.
I think I'm trying to communicate with it again after seeing the echoes. What could have done this? Why? Who do you need revenge against? Somebody needs to go down it. And if you don't stop whispering revenge in my head, I will find a way to drive you insane.
Cool. Give me give me a roll, please. What do you want to roll?
Guess I'm still kind of trying to sway it, getting information out of it.
Okay. Yep. Roll sway then, please.
And if this doesn't work, I'm going to shove a Spirit Bane charm right up its.
No, you rolled 5. That's good. So as this goes on, the spirit, it feels like it moves away from you a little bit. The hairs on the back of your neck stop, and it says, "Those who work in the Hall of Records are all guilty for what they did. They are all guilty. They all must pay."
I am happy to work with that on you. What are they guilty of? It must be something horrific for what's below.
We are still here. When they came, when they moved through us like we were paper, when those beasts arrived, the offices above were locked, leaving us to our fate. It was all covered up. We died. Horrific deaths. Our bodies. And then it goes into describe the most horrific things. Before resuming with, if they work above floor 2, then they must die.
I think, somewhat shaken at this vivid description, I'm going to filter it for the benefit of the young child. But relay most of the information. I'm sure Jellybean's still an innocent young thing, I'm quite sure.
Yeah. So what they were shut down here, and what came in and killed them?
Beast.
The ghost, a beast. Where's the beast now?
Was there any more description on exactly what it was within the?
Yes, there was quite an accurate description, really. And that description is kind of familiar to one of you. What was the name of your demon? Larkin?
That's a very good question. The name of my demon. I can't remember.
Satara.
Satara. I'm just looking at my notes.
Satara,
Yeah. So Satara.
Yeah, that description sounds very much like Sitara.
Hmm.
So, what? She had a hand in this. Is that what you're saying, Vixen?
It's what I'm being told. I don't personally recognize it, but if the description matches from what you know, didn't the spirit within you resist the Tara at the last ritual? Or something along those lines? You may just close your eyes, I can't quite recall.
We have history. Not a good history, but...
An ex, or
Sorry?
was it an ex of yours?
No, I know. No, we've never really, been out to dinner, or she hasn't wined or dined me. But I keep saying no to her, and she doesn't like that. I mean, I say she, it's more of it, really, genderless and terrible in the extreme. No real laughing matter. You see, I'm different. I'm very different to like all of you. You see, and she doesn't like that.
We didn't want to say anything, Barkin, but we have noticed slightly.
Good. But she doesn't like no's, and I keep saying no's. So she's making my life hell.
Can she appear at her will, or is she required to be summoned?
She can do whatever rubbish she wants, really. It has power. It is horrible in the extreme, and nothing as this is to do with me. I am but a small grain of dust to her. But sometimes dust gets in the eye and it becomes an irritant, and I'm that irritant. She's occasionally reminded of that. That is when things turn bad for me. But it does things like this on a whim. My guess, the drain dripping that we couldn't see maybe caused the canals to rise, and they locked the rooms down to protect the papers, sealing people in. She would have liked feeling those lives slowly taken, drowning, no escape, especially if mortals had done this. You see, it's a taint upon their spirit, upon their soul. Murder. A murder of this magnitude. Wow. That's very sweet to her.
It sounded like their descriptions were more brutal than a drowning, though.
Well,
You know, Barkin, the ways of demons are unknowable.
yeah.
They hold powers, they hold things, they do things that are just beyond these realms. So you're all you're all left feeling a little colder after that exchange, potentially. But you are up on floor 5, so you have got the Central Records Bureau, Central Records Office, just down the corridor. It doesn't sound like there's anyone else on this floor at the moment.
Vixen, you go.
Let's get what we came for. And glancing behind me, and if we come across anybody else, we'll deal with them.
Wonderful. So, you proceed with great speed down to the central directory. It is a large room saying central directory, and it has a large card catalogue. So it's got series of wooden drawers, like filing cabinets, with letters on the front, A to B, P to whatever. So you can just go through and find the topic you're after, and it will tell you which number down below filing cabinet you have to look in. So what do you want to look for? And how do you want to go about doing it?
I assume the first thing we want to look for is going to be the deed we've come for, and then if there's time, perhaps other things.
Mhm.
So
We know it's
who
the
want?
Apollo Theatre. So.
Yep. That is very easy for you to find because it's just under A for Apollo Theatre. You pop over the card catalogue, and it's got a little card that says the number. You can either note down the number, or you can take the card with you. But then,
I'll note
obviously,
it
that
down
card
as
will
I've
be missing.
got my notepad anyway.
Cool.
Otherwise, I'll be not
If we take the card and the deed, then no one's going to look at the card and see the deed's missing.
Yeah, it depends what the card is, I suppose. If it's literally just Apollo Theatre, then agreed. If it's something like A1 to 10, and it would be noticeably missing, then
No, it's just Apollo Theatre.
okay, yeah, by all means, then we'll take.
Cool. So you take the
And
card.
we find the orphanage that the boys and girls runs out of, and the deed for that.
Ooh. Okay. So someone's gonna have to give me a roll for this one.
I can give it a go, though I'm not the best at it. I'm guessing it would be a study roll.
If that's what you want to do, yeah, that sounds appropriate.
Can I help? Because specifically it's about the boys and girls. So,
Yes, you can.
but I'm better still.
Oh,
I have an extra dice, Vixen.
thank you. Let's see, I think I do like bitter revenge. I'll push myself too. I will take 2 stress and 3d6.
Okay, yeah. So, you find a little card that says, it takes you a little bit of searching. But you find a card that references boys and girls. It seems that there's information on some gangs in here. And it says, boys and girls, see Cankerridge Valley Orphanage. And you find a card for Cankerridge Valley Orphanage. Now, that was a 5-year-old, so I'm filling in another on discovered. So half the discovered clock is gone. You have 4 segments left.
Pass that over to Grimlyn, and I'm guessing we'll head down to try and find it.
Okay. Nothing else you want to find out whilst you're here?
Is there anything relating to this Electric 6?
So, again, someone can give me a roll. Find out about the Eclectic 6. If anyone's got any skills that they want to use.
I can give it another go if you want.
Yep.
Sure.
Just 1 dice this time, I believe. 5 stress. Yeah.
6.
6.
Very good. So, yeah, you get you're looking through the cards, and there is one that says Eclectic 6. It gives you a reference point, but it also says see H.G. Lazarus. But when you go looking for a card for H.G. Lazarus, it's not there.
Hmm.
Is there a way to tell whether the card has been taken out or whether, you know, whether there was never one in the first place?
Well, given that there's a reference to it from another card, you think that there probably was one in the first place and it's been taken. Like you're taking these cards.
Yeah.
But you do have a card that gives you a reference to the Eclectic 6 down in the records room. So is there anything else anyone wants to find out when you're here? Bearing in mind now, you will be filling in the discovered track for the more you want to find out.
I can't think of anything, but
I'm mildly curious about Auntie Helen, but not enough to spend more time doing this.
Risky. Not just because of the time.
are
So,
there any windows leading out from here?
yes, there's on one wall there is a set of windows. Every other wall is just and the windows are above the filing cabinets. They're all frosted glass as well up here.
Is there any route to the roof?
There is a route to the roof from this floor.
Yeah. Cool.
So, do you head down to the main records office, the records room?
I think so.
Cool. So it's not difficult for you to do. You go down to the records room. You open the door. You see on the far side of the records room is a rather portly gentleman in a sort of not very good guard's uniform, like the gentleman you saw walking around outside. But this guy very clearly has a bottle of beer that's fallen over, a mug, and he's sleeping with his chair leaning back against the double doors, and it keeps sort of going against the double doors and back and against and back as he's snoring. He's rocking against them. But he's out right now.
Do you want to make sure he's doubly out, Grimlyn, or do you think he's going to be okay?
You are muted, I'm afraid. Sorry.
There we go. He's probably going to be out unless we're really noisy. So, tell you what, you find the records. I'll go over by him. If he starts to stir, I'll just sort him out.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So, for people searching for records, I'm happy to do one roll for all of them. And yeah, but someone needs to give me a roll to try and make sure you don't wake this person up or whatever you want to do, really. So who wants to do it?
Well, we've got the things. I'm a little bit shaken at the moment, so I prefer not to do it, but I'll do it if neither of you two want to.
I can give it a go if you'd like. I'm okay. I guess I'll give it a go.
Yep, what do you want to roll then?
Still think it's going to come under probably study, possibly survey. Either way.
Cool.
Okay. Is anyone helping this one, or?
I'll give you a help, absolutely. That costs me
One stress.
one stress again.
Yep, one stress to help, two to
Yeah.
help yourself.
So I've got up to 5 stress now, but it gives you another dice. It's important that we get this sorted.
Yep. And this is just to make sure you don't wake the gentleman up. It would be a shame if he were to wake up from his cat nap.
Oh, again.
He's going to wake up.
Oh, well, I am filling 2 segments in on Discovered.
Oh no.
So you have 2 segments left on Discovered. I am filling in Not Alone. And the gentleman wakes up or starts to rouse. So he's like, what's going on? What's happening here? Grimlyn, what would you like to do?
I would, while they're doing stuff, I probably would have started putting some chloroform on the rag, so it's ready in case, and I will just sort of gently press it over his mouth because and I've still got the mask on, so
Yeah.
he's going to have some really nice screams from here on in.
Brilliant. So, yeah, give me a roll. What would you like to roll?
I would probably, what would I use? I would probably still use prowl because I would have had to have got over there and positioned myself appropriately.
Sounds good.
So I think I'm going to push myself because, yeah, I need to make sure that he definitely goes to sleep.
Yep.
So pushing yourself adds an extra dice. Yes, it costs you 2
Yes,
stress. That's right.
Yep, 2 stress to get 1 more d6. That's good. That's fine. So yeah, with a 4, he does see the mask. He does see. He does kind of look a bit scared, but unfortunately, he does manage to go, "Oh no!" and shout out. That is another section of Discovered ticked. You have 1 section of Discovered left, and Not Alone has been triggered as well, which means that you start the ghost. The good news for you, Vixen, is that the ghost you have is no longer with you. The bad news is that you start to hear wailing and caterwauling coming from the floors below. The ghosts below have started to change their behavior. The good news is you have the records you want.
Did we get all 3 records?
Yes, you did. So the role was to make sure you didn't wake the guy up, basically. So yeah, you have got you have managed to get the deed to the Apollo Theatre, the deed to the Cankeridge Valley Orphanage, and a record marked confidential file Eclectic 6 from the Bluecoats.
Right. Well.
So
yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say, what would you like to do?
From the plans are there, what access do we have? Is it all? Do we have to go through the 2nd floor? How quickly, or do we know what directions the spirits are going to come from? They'll go up the way we did, or
Barkin, Larkin, you know ghosts can basically do what they want. They can go through the floor, they can come up the stairs. They haven't, for whatever reason, come up to these floors before. From what you can gather, they were always just on the lower floors. But it sounds like something is currently changing, and they're probably going to be just coming up. So you can either try and fight through them and go down the main stairs, go down the back stairs, or you could get up onto the roof and escape via another building.
Well, do any of you want to fly?
What kind of flying?
Well, I've been working on a few things. It's prototype.
I'd rather go up than down at the moment. Either way, we need to decide now.
So I throw my coat off, and there's kind of a sort of like hand glider type device strapped to my back, kind of like an umbrella sort of device that is collapsed at the moment, which is the entirety of my heavy load.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
Oh, where did that go?
Don't know if it's going to take 4 people's weight.
Hey,
Well,
Did
I'm only
bring-
half a person.
I brought a bit of gear in case we couldn't catch the barge. If you can get across to the other side and secure something, perhaps we can all shimmy across.
I don't know if it's going to be like flying or just falling with style, but we'll see what happens. I've not had a chance to test it, so it's all in my head how it should work.
No time like the present.
So we begin
Well,
to make our way up to the roof then. I
yes, you do. You head up from floor 3 up to floor 5, and then up the little staircase on floor 5 onto the roof. You are met by the roofs of Silkshore, chimneys, billowing smoke everywhere, the smell of oils, the smell of promise, smell of sludge. It's not particularly pleasant. But you have canals, nice wide canals in places that give you a perfect place to fly down should you wish to. But I need you to make me a roll, Larkin, as you all stand up and this device unfolds on your back. You're gonna have to make me a roll for this.
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely. And it was all this talk about vampires and got me thinking, what happens if, vampires can become like bats? So, and I just pull some gears and suddenly bat wings kind of splay out. It doesn't look very safe. It doesn't look very sturdy.
No. And you are currently in a desperate position as well. So
Good to know.
this means that you will get experience points for whatever you roll here. But you get it in the thing that you roll.
Yeah. So I mean this will be tinkering, obviously, is
Yep.
what I presume. Of which I've got 2. There needs to be a degree of reality in it. I'm not sure how much weight this can literally support. So I know this is blades and it's down to the player, but also I need some adjudication here
So
from
you're
you.
in a desperate position, which means that you will the effect you have is increased if you succeed, but you're still not in the best of positions.
Yeah.
So you may succeed, but you're probably not going to be flying through the night like
Like a
Batman.
Batman.
You are going to be gliding at best.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting to die here. It's just who is wanted to come with me, or
Well,
does anybody else want to make a different route down? And how many people can I take with me?
yeah, if you fly it yourself, you might be able to fly easily. The more people you take, the more risk there is.
Do we
If you
do
took,
we have any other ways out apart from literally back the way we came?
I mean, there's probably like a fire escape going down, but I'm going to use my wings.
there's no fire escape. There are like there's the building itself. If you could try and climb down the building, there is also a canal down below, which could be as deep as you want. Remember, you can use flashbacks. You can use devil's bargains. You can use pushing yourself group actions. So you've got options here that you could use.
I think Vixen, still semi-attached to her rooftop ideas, would have potentially brought along maybe some strong sort of, I'm not sure what the strongest sort of cord she could get hold of with a grapple, with the intent of trying to tie it across to throw it across the building to get onto the roof, but can perhaps now be used to rappel down.
Okay. So you want to, try and use it to go down the outside of the building then. Cool. So we do 2 things then. First, we'll deal with Barkin. Does anyone want to go with Barkin Larkin on his magical It's
I
sort
don't
of-
want to, but if there's no way out that's not going back through Ghost, I might.
there's this potential grappling hook going down as well if you
Yeah.
if you want to climb.
So
You're on
you're on
mute.
mute. I know, it's hard, isn't it?
So I don't want to go with Barkin Larkin, but is there any way that I can kind of when the wings magically unfurl, kind of look around it, make sure there's no nuts and bolts that are kind of loose, so kind of do an assist to make sure that the flight is as safe as possible.
Yes, you can help his tinkering roll. Yes, so that'll mean you take 1 stress, and it is 1 stress is light for looking at this contraption Barkin Larkin's built because it's going to give you a lot of stress looking at it. But no, yeah. So I'll let you to roll me the tinkering roll, please.
Okay, so I've got additional dice thanks to Grimlyn.
Yep.
I've got 2 dice in Tinker,
Yep.
and I think I'm going to push my stress if I'm able to up by 2.
Yep.
Bring me on to 7 stress,
Okay.
which is getting ever so close. I mean, it's quite a
It
stressful
is, yeah.
thing. Which gives me a 4th dice. Is that correct?
Yes.
So a pool of 4. Right. Okay. Well, see you on the flip side. And I just launch myself off into dustful night.
There
4
he
dice
goes.
coming now.
I'm glad you said you launch yourself at that moment. So you rolled a 5.
Yeah.
So that's a success with a complication. So yeah, you launch yourself off, and in a graceful arc that goes down at a rate that isn't quite enough to hurt you, but is enough to sort of mean that it's a little worrying the way the ground is coming towards you so quickly. You manage to gracefully glide and well, sort of gracefully glide like a brick down and following the route of one of the canals. Eventually you pass under one of the bridges, and that is where you just go into the water with this thing on. A number of people saw you do this, which is why you're going to take a level of heat for this one. So the gang's heat is currently 4, because you've just gone. And people were, you heard people talking about the strange man bat thing going on over there.
That's worth 1 heat.
Everybody else that didn't build a giant contraption, and that was brilliant, by the way. Everybody else, can you please someone give me a roll for
Just
attaching
climb
this
down the
thing
easy way out.
and just climbing down sensibly?
Finesse for me?
Yeah.
Are we doing it as individually or like a group thing?
Yeah. Well, 1 person rolls for everyone, or you can do a group action, which will give you the greatest chance of success. But that's where potentially, because it's 3 of you, 1 of you could take 3 stress or 2 stress.
I can do it if you want, because I already de-stressed prior to the session.
So you want to lead a group action?
Yeah, if everyone else is fine with that.
So
Marshall,
everyone roll.
everyone like right.
Yeah. Yes, Jellybean. You use your breeding. You employ your good breeding to make sure that everyone knows what to do. So yes, everybody could. Everybody, please roll me finesse, and we will take the highest dice from each of you, provided you don't have no dots in finesse.
That would be me.
Okay, so Grimlyn rolled a 5, so that is a success. Jellybean rolled a 6, so that is a success. That's the highest so far, so 6 is great. So yep. So yeah, you take 1 stress.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's a fantastic result. Yeah, really, really good there. So yes, Jellybean, you marshal everyone together, and you manage to you know
Oh,
use that old
use,
yeah. Yeah, I used the old invoke the old Doskvold spirits to get everyone down the
I'm
down
sure
the down the
Barkin's
rope.
fine now. We just need to get down this fire escape so we don't have to deal with it.
So yeah, no, you get down. You get back down to where essentially get back onto the dock you were on before. There are a set of stairs leading up to the road, and should you wish to, you can be off. Barkin, what do you want to do with your contraption?
Well, try and salvage it, I guess.
Cool, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's a bit waterlogged.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's prototype. I hadn't even tested it. I've got ideas.
I'm just sad you didn't roll all ones, because otherwise you would have jumped off that building and the contraption would have stayed put, like Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, yeah. It would have been amazing.
Still, we've got future contraptions that might happen. No, I love it. So, yeah, you can drag your contraption out and get it home. That's where the heat comes from as well, because people are seeing you do this.
I'm asking the blue coats to help me get it out of the canal.
they're just like, no, you look like you're doing all right there, mate. Look at this guy. What an idiot. You're trying to fly. If we were meant to fly, we'd be given wings, idiot. So yeah, you give a bit of entertainment for people in Silkshore. Most people in Silkshore are either on drugs or drunk, or both. You can all go your separate ways, or you can, but you will eventually all reconvene back at the theatre.
Yeah.
Where you have the deed to the theatre, you have the deed to the orphanage, and you have this piece, this folder that has confidential written on it. Would you like to read the folder?
There's going to be a message saying "Well done," I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I would like someone to read it to me.
Has Barkin made it back okay?
Yes, yeah, you've all made it back to the theatre. This is probably early the next day.
You're not dead?
No, I flew.
Very exciting.
They all said, look at that idiot flying. He's like a bat, a man bat.
Perhaps you could patent it.
No, I'm not going to sell it. It's mine.
So one of you opens the folder and reads it. There is no message like that. What there is a design. The seal you saw, the number 6 with leaves around it, and just a simple thing saying the Eclectic 6 are an organization made up of 6 members whose goals are currently unknown. The members go by code names. Only one of their real names is known. The heart, the center of the operation. The skin, role unknown. The eyes, the one who keeps a lookout. The muscle, their enforcer. The mouth, the person who charms their way into everywhere. And the mind, the planner of the operation. The only one who's got a name next to their nickname is the Mind, with the name H.G. Lazarus.
Excellent. You know what? We should all have code names, secret names. I'm beginning to think I know what mine's going to be.
Okay.
What? Why you all look at me strange? It's going to be the dog, isn't it?
Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah. I like dogs. Entrusted dog.
Yeah.
You've all got code names. Look, what kind of name is Jellybean anyway? That's a code name. Vixen,
Yeah.
that's a code name. And Grimlyn. I'm the only one who hasn't got a code. Why haven't I got a code name?
Because, as you said earlier, you're very special.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can have a code name if you want.
Can I? Ah,
Yeah.
awesome. What do you think it should
As
be?
opposed to your real name of Barkin Larkin.
Well, Barkin's what people call me. Larkin's my real name. Do you know if I'm Ambrose? Ambrose Larkin.
Ambrose. Mm.
People call me Barkin now.
And so, as we have hit 10 o'clock at time of recording, the camera pans out of this discussion on Barkin's nickname and real name. And we'll deal with heat, and as normal, we'll deal with downtime at a later date. But your operation was contained. No, smooth and quiet, I think. You got in and got out without too many things. So that's 0 heat to start as base. It was quite a high-profile target, so you get 1 heat for that. You didn't kill anyone. You didn't do anything else. So that means your gang total heat goes up to 5. Which means we'll take a look at the entanglement. So on a heat of 4 or 5, roll the d6. On a 1 to 3, there's gang trouble or questioning. 4 or 5, it's reprisals or unquiet dead. And 6 is a show of force. So 5, reprisals or unquiet dead. Well, I think it would be very, very appropriate with the unquiet dead if certain spirits have been drawn to you. There is definitely a spirit Vixen that is hanging around you. Not nearby. Not right whispering in your ear, but you every now and again you get that feeling on the back of your neck that there's a spirit there. However, you do know that spirits can be banished by either a whisper, or you could try going to one of the gangs of Doskvol, the Railjacks. They are known to banish spirits. But that is for the future. You have made a lot of progress tonight. You've done a lot. I'm very, very happy. I'm very happy with how you're coming together as well. Love the little moments between Grimlyn and Jellybean. I love Larkin's inventions. I love, well, you're all amazing. Vixen's way of solving problems. Love it. So thank you very much for playing, everybody. Thank you very much for anyone watching. As usual, I've had an absolute blast doing it. I hope you guys have enjoyed playing. And I will now hand over to Andy to do the end bit.
The end bit. Don't make me do the end bit, because it means it's coming to an end. Thank you very much, Kristian. Had a marvellous time as usual with it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the next title is, because it has gone up in numeral sequences. So you've probably already got that sorted. But thank you. Thank you for playing. Thank you for running. Had a absolute marvellous time. I don't often get a chance to play, so really appreciate it. We'll just quickly go around the table. I know it's late. People have got work tomorrow. Any standout moments, any favourite bits? Doesn't have to be your bit. We'll start with Sarah and just move back to me and Kristian. Yeah, Sarah, take it away.
So I think probably my favourite bit was how tense it was going through the room, and kind of all the plans coming up with that, and kind of make that kind of the pressure that's on you this time with our dice rolls and stuff. I think it kind of really added to kind of what was going on.
Excellent. Kyle.
I think I enjoyed all the failures that happened tonight. It just helps to tell a story. Other than that, I'm looking forward to seeing how us having the deed to another gang's environment's going to cause more heat for us, probably.
Absolutely. Rachel?
I thought the ghosts were a good element of the building, and obviously plays to Barkin's strengths, but like added difficulty for all of us, especially Jelly's still scared of them. And then yeah, like Vixen's obviously ended up with a whisper in the ear. So we're gonna see what happens.
Absolutely. Kristian?
Yes. I would probably say my favourite moment was Kyle's reaction to me saying revenge and then saying revenge back. That made me smile a lot.
Yeah, very cool. And I mean, I think I'm repeating everybody's favourite bits, but I've really enjoyed the failures. It shows the strength of this system that failures don't mean that it's the end. It just takes the story off into a different direction, creates more heat, more problems, more repercussions, and I've loved seeing that sort of play out, particularly as an instrument of chaos myself. I didn't really want my character to try and resolve the situation, particularly. It's not that I potentially could have done by doing the things that I normally do with the spirits. I thought it might be quite interesting to try and take it in a different direction this time, and it's made for a more interesting story, I think. So yeah, very, very much enjoyed. I think we are coming together as a group. I really like that all of the other plot hooks from previous heist and games, like the rival gang, like we've got this Eclectic 6, as I know what eclectic means, but Barkin perhaps doesn't. Um, um, all coming together, and I'm just genuinely loving it, and can't wait to see what we have in well, what happens next, basically. I'm assuming it's going to be the same sort, because I know that we've got to take a little bit of a break, but about sort of 4 weeks, maybe even early
Yeah.
November, sort of for the
Yeah.
next one.
Be around then, yes.
Yeah. We won't set a direct date, but we'll talk, Kristian, and get it into the diaries for everybody to be able to book. So yeah, thank you very much again. Had a really, really cool time playing. Thank you for watching. If you have got to the end of it and you are listening to me waffle on now, please give us a like and subscribe as well. It does help the channel out. So without further ado, let us say good night to everybody, and all get some very, very well deserved rest. Thank you very much, Kristian. Thanks, cast. Thanks for watching. Good night. Bye bye from all of us. Bye.